Hello everyone, welcome to the first introductory session of Winter of Code. Just give me a quick yes or no if I'm audible. Okay, that's great. So, guys, a quick introduction to Winter of Code. Winter of Code is a program which we are doing. Basically, by we it means DSC, NSEC. So, we are trying to make it as an introduction to the Google Summer of Code. It's basically supposed to be a gentle introduction, right? So let me begin with the slides. Yeah, what is Winter of Code? It is a sort of replica, right? But it's not at all associated with the Google Summer of Code program. It's an entirely different program, and we are in no way connected to Google or any of its subsidiaries, though we are definitely a part of Developer Student Club Network, and that is where it ends, right? We do not have anything to do with Google or Google Summer of Code. But we are trying to create an environment in which people can understand what it is like to participate in the Google Summer of Code, right? So we are trying to create a mini replica of it. The Google Summer of Code program actually runs for 3 months. That is just the coding period. But in our case, it will be running for around 1 month. Besides that, there are a lot of things which happen, such as the organization applications, organization acceptance, preparation of the organizations for accepting students, and then the student applications and the organization selecting the students. And finally, there's a community Yeah, I hope I'm visible now. The screen is visible now, and you're able to hear me as well. So, what is an organization in Winter of Code, or it may be the Google Summer of Code, right? So, these are not always big companies or say what you might think of like probably Google or Microsoft. No, these are not the organizations which we mean when we say for Winter of Code or the Google Summer of Code program, right? So these are just projects. These are just simple projects which people make, people like you or me, or it may be an open source organization, it may be a community. So whoever is making these projects, they are eligible to be called an organization in the Winter of Code program. So the minimum requirement is that there is a project and there is something to do, right? Sometimes, even sometimes, in such smaller versions of GSoC, what happens is that there are organizations which are not able to directly participate, and they ask other organizations to participate on their behalf with a completely zero project. So even that is feasible and it works. So in our case, what an organization would be is anyone who is willing to put their project live out there for people to come and edit it and work on it, right? So if you have a single project, well and good, you can be an organization. If you have multiple projects, then you can be an umbrella organization in which there are multiple projects. Umbrella organization examples are suppose Force Asia or JBoss, right? So all these organizations are umbrella organizations. They have multiple projects under them, and projects like say TensorFlow. So that is a single project, right? And even that is an organization on GSoC. So this is how an organization works. It could be a single project. It could be a body with multiple projects under it. In our case, in Winter of Code, we have selected two such organizations, and they are both umbrella organizations this time. Unfortunately, we did not get any singular participation project, and that's when we understood that people are thinking of organizations as big companies. I hope that part is clear, and then let us begin with what does a student do. So, yes, a student is supposed to work during the Winter of Code, but what are their tasks? Simple as that, they contribute to any open source project for a period of 1 month, right? This particular project is necessarily among the projects which have been listed by the organizations which we have selected, right? So this can't be any project. This has to be a project which is listed in the organization's page of the organizations that we have selected. In case you have not yet seen it, you could go to our website and check out the organizations that we have selected, as well as the projects that have been selected under those organizations. So, what is the first step? The first step is to find an organization, right? So, how do you find an organization? You go to the website winterofcode.com and just check out the organizations section. We have recently put it up. So you just go to the organization section and you find which organizations are participating. And once you go inside those, like the details of those organizations, you'll be able to see the projects these organizations are having, right? So that's how you're going to check them out, and we'll soon be uploading all the information. But if you just search for their GitHub profiles, then you'll be getting all the information about those organizations. So, suppose there's an organization named XYZ and you want to read about their projects, then you just have to search GitHub space XYZ and you will get the information about that organization. We'll soon be linking it as well. We were not able to get the entire information from the organizations as of yet, but we believe that by midnight today, when we start the applications, everything will be in place. Durga Puja is hitting everyone at the end. So, factors to consider while you're choosing your organization. First is the tech stack, right? Try to make sure that whatever organization or project you're choosing to work with matches with the tech stack or the skills that you currently have, right? Do not try to or do not think that you will be able to learn something very new out of this program, like an entirely different tech stack. Please do not think of it like that. Think of it in such a way that there are some people who require what you currently know, right? It could be something which probably one step ahead of what you currently know. You could think of learning that, but do not think that you will be jumping 10 steps and then helping people. That's not exactly how you want this program to work, right? Because as soon as you start with this program, you will almost always be under ready evaluation, right? So your mentors will be continuously evaluating you, and if they feel that you are not matching up to the skills that are required for that particular project, they might not approve your proceeding, right? So make sure that the tech stack is kind of within your range, not something very much out of the line. And then your experience, right? If you have previously worked on anything similar to what the projects list, make sure to apply for that, because that's your best bet, right? If you're able to show the organization mentors that you have previously worked on something similar, then they are more likely to accept you. And finally, your profile, the kind of projects that you have put up on your GitHub or say your LinkedIn. While you are applying, make sure you provide all information, right? If you are willing to get selected into something, you want to make sure that whatever information there is available about you, you make it available to the mentors for their perusal so that they can determine whether or not you are a good fit for their project, right? Think of it in this way that whenever you apply for a job, you try to give as much information about yourself, right? So this is very much similar. Please do not take it lightly. Whenever you are applying for a project, make sure you are presenting all the information about you which is relevant to that particular project or organization which you want to work with. And then what to do to get started with the project. So first of all, clone the repo. Basically, this step means that whatever is available right now, make a clone of that, run it on your system, and try to determine whether you're able to work with it or not. Try to get familiar with the code base. And sometimes there are no code bases. Sometimes when the projects are new, they might have a blank repo, or they might not have anything at all. They might ask you to, create a proof of concept, and then they might be willing or not to take up that particular project, right? So, and sometimes even when you're refactoring, the admin might ask you to create an entirely new repo and work on that. Um, so don't worry if there is no such repo available currently. Just talk about it to the mentors and the admins, and I'm sure they will be able to help you out with how to proceed with that particular project. Yeah, break ice. So start chatting. There are two organizations, as I said, and you might be interested in starting to chat with them. There is no particular listing of who the mentors are currently. They are usually decided once the pairing has been done. So there is no current list, but you will be able to find their Slack channels or something where you can talk to them, or you might even mail those organizations. So make sure to use Google search a lot. Find whatever you can about these organizations and mail them, or then get into their Slack. Make sure you just interact with these people, right? Yeah. So introduce yourself on their Slack channels or whatever they are maintaining. Even GitHub comments works, right? Uh, these organizations might have some GitHub pages or projects, so you can just go to those projects and probably make comments somewhere about what you think about that particular issue or anything which has been put into that organization's GitHub. So that's entirely up to you how you start with the conversation, but make sure you do. And yes, if they have any sort of documentation about their projects, make sure to go in and read through that documentation so that you do not come out with a question or anything which is like just go and read that, right? So you do not want that answer. It sounds stupid, and it also sounds bad that you did not read the documentation which is publicly available and you directly jumped into asking questions. That is going to leave a very negative impact about you, and the mentors might be getting a mindset that you are a lazy person, or a person who is not really into the program, trying to do whatever you can on your own self. Like there's a saying which goes like, uh, people help those who help themselves, and that is very much important in open source. If you have some ready documentation, then please make sure to go through it, right? And if any project has any issues, read through them because they will be telling you which direction that particular project wants to move into. Right? Try to determine what that project requires, what the project would be like in the future. That is what you want to incorporate when you're making the proposal for getting accepted into the program. I just use the term proposal. We'll be talking about that soon. And yeah, these are a few things which you should not do. Masses on private, right? If there's a Slack channel of that particular organization, try not to make private messages to the mentors. That is super creepy, right? And not just the mentors, even the people who are in that particular channel, maybe your fellow interestees or candidates for the Winter of Code or the GSoC. Do not message them on private, right? That's super creepy. Do not stalk mentors. Just stay there on the Slack. Don't go to their say LinkedIn profiles or say Facebook profiles or even Instagram. If even if you can find it, please don't go there and just start following them because you might be very much interested about them, but they might not be interested about you. Right, so please do not stalk mentors or even stalk fellows because if you're stalking any person, any of your fellow candidates, and if they complain that this person has been stalking me, then that's going to work against you, right? So please do not do that. Be disrespectful. So that's a big no, because on the internet you're just interacting with the screen and keyboard, but on the other side there's another real human who is doing just that, right? So make sure you're respectful at all times. You're considerate that you're actually talking to a real human. Yeah. So how to apply the proposals? A proposal is a complete software proposal along with a pitch to you, right? So you're pitching what you want to do to that project or in that project. Along with that, you're also pitching about yourself, like who you are and what you can do, how good you are at whatever you're proposing, right? Uh, it's not going to be in a format of a PPT or a video or an email. It's going to be in the format of a document, proper, say, Google Docs or MS Word document. It could be converted to PDF as well, which is a very standard practice. Um, yeah, so what goes in a proposal? Who are you? What do you do? What is your background? All that stuff. Basically, an introduction to you, which college you're from, what skills do you have. It's kind of a mini resume of you, a very loosely formed resume of you. And then why you, right? If you have any past experience of working on something similar, make sure you include it. And yeah, make sure to have a section which talks specifically about why you are the best person for this particular project or job, right? It's not a job, it's a task. Yeah, in that sense. So, yeah, what to do? What changes do you want to bring into that project? If there are not already suggested changes, then you're supposed to think of some yourself, right? So, what are the stuff that you want to do with that particular project? And finally, how you are going to time it, right? You just have 1 month, and in software terms, 1 month is a very less time to do anything huge. So make sure whatever you want to do is biteable chunk, so that you don't come out with something which sounds like I'll build the Leaning Tower of Pisa in 1 day. So don't make something like that. Make a proposal which is actually realistically fitable into a timeline of 1 month. Yeah, and you can find a sample proposal here. Just go to tiny.cc/proposal-sample. This is a proposal which I used for my GSoC 2019 project. You can use it for any GSoC, or you're free to go creative as you like. But at the end of the day, it should be something which your mentor likes, right? If your mentor does not like your proposal, then it's not going to work, even if it is dicto as mine. Uh, and even if it is like pretty much creative and your mentor likes it, you're into the program. So yes, the dates to apply are 5th October to 14th October. We did change the timeline a bit. We are doing this for the first time, and yes, Durga Puja clashed like head on. So yes, we had to push the dates, but we hope that 10 days are pretty much enough for making an application, understanding the projects, chatting with the mentors, and coming up with what you want to do for those projects. Um, yeah, my voice is not clear. I really can't help that right now. I'll try to speak slower. So, what I'm saying is that we have extended the dates of the application. It will begin on the midnight of 5th of October, and it will run until the midnight of 14th of October, right? 14th of October, 11:59 p.m. So it will run till that. Make sure to interact with the project mentors and get introduced to the project channels in this meantime, and also come up with what you want to do with the project. So this particular 10 days are going to be important if you want to be a part of the program. And finally, this is how you can contact us. We have a mailing address. And at the same time, if you have any questions, you can go to our forum. Um, just head over to forum.dscnsec.com and use the tag of winter of code, right? So this is how you can contact us in case of any problems or any questions that you might have. Uh, Besides this, you can also always contact your organization which you like. So you're free to contact DSC, NSEC, or the Code Foundation for their projects, any issues related with their projects. And if you're facing any issue with the program or details or the program timeline or any such problems which we can solve, please just let us know on the forum. You just have to go there and create your post. Use the tag winter of code, and our volunteers will surely answer you as soon as possible. So, guys, this was all from my side. If you have any questions, then please put them on the chat, and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. Okay, guys, since there are no questions right now, um, you can go to the website winterofcode.com. You will find these slides along with the updated information on that website. Uh, by midnight today, we will be linking all the relevant links to those organizations and their projects. So midnight today is when you start exploring and start entering their Slack channels and introducing yourself. So yeah. The next 1.5 hour, you can hold your horses, go and have your dinner or something, and then when you come back in the midnight, we will be starting the applications. So this is it from my side, and uh, for any questions, just put them on the forum, and that's it. Thank you, and good night.